Welcome back to the Kfactor Airsoft podcast. I'm your host, E-Rock. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you never miss another podcast. Also, do me a favor. Go on to whatever podcast app you listen to us on and give us a rating and review. That really helps us rank in the searches. Thank you so much. Let's get into the podcast. Well, welcome, bro.
Oh, thanks for having me on, man. It's a pleasure. And I'm so pumped to be on here and just talk some airsoft and just whatever comes up. It's awesome.
Awesome, man. I'm so glad. I think, was it Mr. OT that told me about you? I can't remember. It was somebody I talked with that told me about your channel. Maybe in the last week or two.
Oh, cool. I appreciate the word of mouth. I found your channel because of James Kicking Mustang.
Oh shit.
Because dude, we've messaged back and forth a lot, and he's helped me with my channel. And,
right.
He's very busy, right? So
yeah.
Anytime he gives me, I appreciate that from him.
For sure.
And I was like, oh, I'm jumping on with Kfactor Airsoft and doing a podcast. I was like, sweet, another podcast. And then after I listened to James, I was like, oh, awesome. This guy's got a ton rolling out. I listen to it every day at work. So I just want to thank you for that.
Oh,
it's been really cool, and to hear all the stories, and I love how you have all the vets on here, and me being a civvy, I just love hearing that stuff from you guys.
Awesome, dude.
I appreciate it. Everything
I appreciate you, man. That's great. So I was going to say, you have probably, when I found your YouTube channel, I just sorted all your videos from the oldest. Bro.
Yes.
You have been recording and posting on YouTube sniper videos, even, airsoft gameplay and sniper stuff for 10 years and over.
I have.
Holy
long time.
That is awesome, man.
I'm coming from an era, so everyone's used to like the scope cams that we have today, right? Which are a blessing.
Yeah.
I'm coming from cutting a Picatinny rail, flipping it up on extra scope mounts on top of my scope.
Yeah.
Buying a Sony zoom in digital camera, mounting that sucker on there and trying to center it as best I can, and recording with a big giant box on top, kind of like Christoph from Norwich did.
Yeah.
I honestly want to say that I may have been doing it longer than Christoph. He just took off.
Yeah.
I can't quote me on that because I'll have to go back and see when his last video is. But I've been doing this a while.
No kidding, dude.
I didn't come from where you could have this nice little cool compact camera. I had a big hunking camera on there.
Yeah.
I made a paper mache cover for this thing.
Oh my God.
Cut out plexiglass over the screen, and then zoomed it to where I think where the BB would be the best fit, and then taped over that so it wouldn't mess with it. And then just big old heavy camera on top. And that's how I got my start. Vanman56. I don't know if you've ever seen that or heard of that guy before. He's kind of the guy that started all of this sniper scope cam stuff.
Oh.
He was the first dude throwing stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
The first guy where everyone's got their ideas. And it was him. And then when he stopped making videos, it was like Bob Jops and a couple of others and myself. And until Novrich and Kicking Mustang, all these other guys came along, we were the only ones doing it.
That's crazy.
So I've been doing it a while, and I still love the process. Have not lost my passion for it. I just love this game.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That is some crazy history, man. Like, for real.
Yeah. It was a lot of learning and swearing and getting it wrong and thinking, oh, I got this on video. And you go back and like, oh, my swivel mount moved. And, old school cameras where they'd screw on like a top, right? I got tired of those because you would crawl and it'd bump and it'd move it.
Yep.
So I took shoe glue and epoxy and just glued that sucker on. Like, you're not moving on me anymore.
Oh my God.
And then the reticle that you're seeing, I don't know if you've watched the older ones. Sounds like you have, but that little 2 bars and the little triangle scope relay.
Yeah.
That's not an overlay. That's coming from my keyboard that I just expanded on the editor that I had.
Get out.
I made those.
So the up arrows, the fucking
from the keyboard. Yep.
Hyphens.
100%. That's all for me zooming it in. It was because of the limited technology, and I was just learning on the fly. But I was like, you know what? I love sniping. You can't see unless you have a scope cam. You couldn't see it.
No.
Like, you know what? I love sniping, but no one can see what I'm seeing, and no one can see the joy I'm having with it. And so I was like, I got to figure this out. And so I did that. I'm like, okay, the video is good, but it doesn't look like a scope. So I was like, well, I just played with keyboards, and finally I was like, okay. I had an SVD at the time that I first started with. like a piece of crap real sword. Like it could barely pop three O's, right? It was a terrible gun. It was awful, but somehow I made it work.
Yeah.
And then went to a Well L96. And I had that for a long time. And then as soon as Norvich came out with his guns, I have every single one of his rifles.
Oh shit. Okay.
And just kind of went from there. But it's been
I
a
saw
process for
some of
sure.
your one of your older videos and scope cam. It was one of your, I think it was the scope cam 7 or something like that is what it
Okay.
said, the name of the
Yeah.
video.
Mm-hmm.
So like 10 years ago. And so you can see through the lens and you shoot, you could see somebody in the wood, you know, in the behind the bush, and you're like, you shoot, and this BB goes like this, like down to,
Yeah.
it was like a
Painful.
curveball. It was a curveball. I said, oh, this
So
is,
painful.
and I looked, I was like, oh, this is 10 years old, bro.
It was painful, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Did not have the glory of having those heavyweight BBs and the hop up and the rubber, all those things that we have now. Airsofters that are sniping today are spoiled, man.
Oh,
So
for real.
spoiled.
For real. Well, anyone that started anything that you know, has progressed a lot with technology or, you know, whatever gear, and the, you know, that old saying, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, you know,
Right,
basically.
right, 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 right.
uh we're you know, it's progressed so much, like what all the
For
shit
sure.
you had to go through, and because of that, because people wanted to do what you were doing, but
Mm,
make it easier, obviously. That's where the idea for a scope cam came from, where people
for
like
sure.
you that like, hey man, this is what I'm doing to rig this thing up. I wonder if there's
Right.
a better way, you know.
For sure. Hell yeah. Yeah. And
So
I'm so grateful for technology now. I promise you.
oh, well, you can appreciate it way more than somebody that's just starting.
I
um
can. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's and it's not, it's not it's neutral, right? Like, that doesn't
Mm,
mean you're better, or
no,
that
not at
you
all.
are or worse or whatever, like,
Mhm.
or it doesn't mean you have disdain for anything, you know. There's no feeling in it.
Not at
It's
all.
just the
No.
newer guys don't even realize they're spoiled because they
For
have
sure.
no clue
100%.
what it was.
100%. Yeah. I
They
mean, I've shown
think
some
it's
people that
hard
and
to
they're
keep their damn battery going. They're like, man,
right.
this thing is, I gotta wear this, you know, charger on my helmet and to keep the
Right.
camera going, then it overheats, and
Right.
and
For
guys
sure.
like you
Yeah.
are going, bro, be
Hey, let me
thankful.
tell you something. Yeah, bro. You know, and I show some of the guys at the field, like, this is what I start off with. Too. Like, you ran with that? You did what with that?
Yeah.
And I mean, I even look at some of my old videos, and they're pretty cringy, right? I
Yeah,
think there
but I
was one
mean,
in there, but it's cool to see my progress. That's why I left it,
sure.
right?
Well,
Like
you
when I
still were
first,
posting it.
for
That's
sure,
good.
and that's I just wanted to like, hey, come do this, have fun. Like for me, you know, we got the Call of Duty video games coming out, which you know I don't mind playing either,
Yeah.
but I would rather go out in the woods and do it for real,
Yeah.
and get off my couch and do that. And that's why I love airsoft so much. It feels like you're in a video game,
Yeah,
and
man.
everyone goes home at the end of the day, and that's a blessing there too.
Oh yeah.
So it's fun. Or you could be like, I got like your buddy, like, hey dude, I sniped you right in the face. He's like, I'll
Yep.
get you next time. I love that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah.
It's fun. It's way fun.
So, well, I definitely want to go over your background. It's really cool. I'm
For
glad
sure.
you got it set up that way where we
Thank
can
you.
see all this stuff. Yeah, man. And we will go up over your you know, your background, and then,
Yeah,
well, your personal background, and then the
for
one
sure.
that's behind you that I'm seeing. I don't
Yeah,
know how to
yeah,
say it right.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. The background and the background. I get you.
Exactly, dude. So that, and then of course, how you got into airsoft so many
For
years
sure.
ago.
100%.
Yeah, dude. So how did you so you're in Utah?
I'm in Utah. Yep.
You from there
Um,
originally?
no, I've actually moved quite around a bit. Believe it or not, before I did airsoft heavily, I was chasing professional hockey. I played semi-pro hockey for a long time. Still
Gotcha.
do. In the winter time, I kind of take a break from airsoft for a couple months and just play hockey.
Yeah.
Just men's league now, nothing crazy, but I chased hockey for a while, so I moved all over the place.
Okay.
But Utah is where I've been for the last, 10, 12 years, and don't
Gotcha.
plan on going anywhere anytime soon. My job and other things here, so
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a cool, crazy journey, and it's been fun. So
I knew you had
how-
something, some kind of love for hockey because
for sure.
I saw on your Instagram the when was it the Wings? You're a Wings fan?
Vegas nights.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they won. I guess this is a while ago. I'm not sure. You had a video on your. I guess you were in the stand. You were at the game on your
Oh,
Instagram.
yeah. We went to so it was the Frozen Fury. So
Okay.
they came and played a preseason game at where the Jazz play.
Mm,
And so it was between LA and Vegas. And so it
gotcha.
was actually landed on the same day as my wife and I's wedding anniversary.
Oh shit.
And so like, let's go to a Vegas game. So we took the train track that runs by us here. We have the train that goes all the way to the stadium and back to our
Mm,
house. So we just jumped on that and went to a game and came back. And hockey's a big part of our life. My boys are playing it, and my wife is an avid fan now, and it's just been kind of part of our family.
oh,
So
that's
it's
cool.
been fun.
Did
It's
you
been
grow
fun.
up in a household that liked hockey, or did you find it
Uh,
later on?
I found it later on. I actually
Okay.
didn't start skating or playing until I was about 17. So
Oh
I
wow.
started way late. And
Yeah.
then after I started really getting into it, and some of the coaches were like, hey, you're actually pretty dang good. I learned how to skate, and I basically was like, all right, I want to do this and try to go for it. And my parents were very supportive, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
And I just basically said, let's do the homeschool thing and tutor. And I did hockey, tutor, work, hockey again. And that was my life for a long time.
Wow.
And I just grinded on my studies and grinded
Yeah.
on just playing and practicing. I had like a Russian hockey coach. I was very serious with it for a
Oh
long time.
shit, dude.
But I'm grateful for that because it gave me drive and purpose and structure.
Right.
And it helped me, honestly, to be a better airsoft sniper because you're having to focus on that puck so much.
Yeah.
And with a person, honestly, I'm open about it. I have ADHD. I had a hard time focusing on anything. But
Okay.
because I was so focused on the puck, I could read now without my eyes bouncing up and down.
Yeah.
And then me looking through a scope reticle has allowed me to be a better shot because of that. So it's all transitioned and linked itself together.
Oh, that's wild.
So
So
it helped me out.
you go where the puck's gonna be, not where it's at.
Correct. And I line up on the puck, not the shooter. Because if I line up on the guy, even if I'm a foot over, I give him like 3 or 4 feet of net. So this is
Oh,
something you have to learn.
okay.
And I'm
Is
not the
that
biggest guy either.
yeah, is
So I have
that
to be quick.
the name is that where or does the name of your YouTube channel have something to do with that? Kfactor?
It does. So Kfactor is a name I got by playing Airsoft. Like the old school Modern Warfare where you had the little name tapes, you wearing badges. My
Yeah.
very first real official Airsoft game, I had my buddies cover me in leaves. I laid there for a half hour, popped up and hosed 30 dudes. And that was my very first game. And they're like, man, he's got the Kfactor in him. And that stuck. And then the 39 has been my numbers ever since I've been playing because I was a big fan of Dominic Hasek, who was a really
Okay.
good goalie way back then and a super talented dude. And so that's where Kfactor 39 comes into play. So it's my nick call sign I got from my teammates.
Yeah.
And then the 39 is just my hockey number. So I just combine those two together.
Awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah. As soon as
Yeah.
I saw the Kfactor when I messaged you, I was like, it's either in or studied marketing, because that's a big, thing, phrase in marketing,
Yeah.
or metalworking, like the factories I worked in, a lot of the fabricators,
Oh, okay.
they use, it's part of math, how they figure out whatever they fit arches and, cuts and stuff with the thickness
Oh,
of
nice.
something. So I was like, he's either marketing or maybe a sheet metal guy or a metal worker or something, or fabricator. And
Yeah.
but yeah, as you're talking about hockey, I'm like, oh, okay. It's kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's
That's
cool,
cool.
dude.
Yeah. It's fun. And it's just been a cool, wild journey, and I'm excited to keep going.
Bro,
It's been a lot of fun.
I gotta say, dude, for real, I am super impressed with your YouTube channel.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It
I mean,
means a
that's some
lot.
dedication for real. All that shit you do to capture it and then put it out. Kudos to you, man, for real.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of hours, and it's kind of like a job, but I do enjoy the process.
Right.
And I got kids, so I'm editing wee hours of the night. And when I'm working, it's usually I'm editing from like 10 to 1 on some
Yeah.
of these videos because it's the only time I got.
Yeah.
Because during the day I'm too busy with work and what have you.
Sure.
And So it's a passion for sure.
Now, how old are your kids?
So my son just barely turned 2, my youngest boy, and then my oldest will be 8 in November.
Okay.
So my wife and I are done, just 2 kids, but we do have 3 dogs. Dogs are a big
Okay.
part of our lives as well. So
Gotcha.
I have a Border Collie Australian Shepherd, a Newfie Red Heeler mix, and I have a Belgian Malinois puppy. He's 3 months old.
Oh shit. Okay.
So
Yeah, your
yeah,
house is busy, bro.
we're busy.
A 2-year-old, yeah. Well, at least the 8-year-old can help a little bit.
He
Um,
can. He does pretty good.
right.
Both the boys are very good.
Yeah, self-sufficient, and
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, man. There's something about the homeschooled guys. I worked with a guy that his parents never owned an apartment or a house.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
had an RV, and
Oh wow. Okay.
he's been to every single state in America, and his
That's
mom homeschooled
amazing.
him. Yeah, and he was a smart guy. Him and I were the same age back years and years ago when I lived in Cleveland. We worked in a factory together.
Mhm.
And when he told me that one day, I'm like, it was so odd to hear. Like, I've never heard it. He's like, yeah, I've been to every state. I'm like,
That's
how do
amazing.
you have time? He's like, no, I grew up that way. And I was like, holy shit, dude. But
That's cool. I like
yeah,
that
for
actually.
real. Yeah. It's like the American dream, really, kind of self-sufficient, pick up and go when you want. And then,
I love it. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Not being really tied down, being able to have that freedom is great.
I would not go to cold climates in the winter because I freaking hate it. When
No, I understand.
I saw some of your older or some of your videos, and you're out there where it's kind of snowing a little bit and
Yes.
it's clearly winter. I was like, oh hell no. No.
I don't play too much more in the winter because of that. I'm getting
Oh yeah.
older, and I worked for UPS for a long time back in
Mm,
the day, and I am a hockey player, but it's a different type of cold, and
right.
it's part of my guns, it's part of my gear, and it's honestly good for me to shut it down for a couple months so I can
Mm,
reset and be hungrier the next year.
gotcha.
So I think balance is key with this kind of stuff.
Sure.
Because even if you love it, you can get burnt out, right?
Absolutely,
Uh,
man.
and so I'd like to have that nice little balance there. And that a couple months after like a month, I'm like, okay, I want to play. Let's go. And if it's not snowing too bad, I'm like, it's 50. It's fine. Let's go. I'll do that. But I'm very much a spring, fall, summer airsofter mind primarily for sure.
Yeah, all other times besides when it's really cold, you're out there.
Really cold. Some of my buddies are like, you can play, don't wuss out, you can do it. And I'm like, guys, I'm just done being cold. So I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. It was kind of cold this morning here in South Carolina. I went to
Yeah.
work and it wasn't too bad. It was probably in the lower 40s or something like that. And of course, this time of year, when it starts getting like that, the humidity goes away. So that wind blows, you feel that, it cuts through the whatever you're wearing. So I go to put my gloves on because we were doing a side job where I had to do use a chop saw, basically cutting a bunch of pieces of wood,
Yeah.
measuring and cutting. So, and some of the wood was kind of splintery, it's kind of rough on the edges. So I wear these like work gloves that are kind of tight and they have that rubber, seal on the hand part, and then like knuckle protectors, but they fit really tight. So when I put them on, I'm trying to warm my hand. My hands were cold when I put them on. So I'm trying to use the real, the tight dexterity stuff to pull out the tape measure, use a pencil to mark something, while you're holding the tape and use all your fingers. Bro, I just took a break. I was like,
didn't want to work.
no, ain't working, bro. I'm like,
no.
This is going to take me a minute to warm up, So yeah, that's what I hate about the cold.
I get that feeling. No, I get it. You can't feel your fingers. And after a while, you're just like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm over it. It's not fun anymore.
I'm trying. It doesn't work.
Not working. No, I get that 100%.
So on your background here or behind you, so you got your patch wall, you've got an old school studio type of sign.
I do. So
yeah,
that Kfactor behind me is my goal. So right now I have it set at 2K, which I'm almost there, which is awesome.
Yeah, you are
for a while. Very close. So that's cool. And then when when I get that, I'll probably change it to 4K and just kind of slowly go up from there. It's always good
Right.
to have goals, right? I would
Oh,
do this if I had one subscriber. Like, to me, this is fun.
absolutely.
To my left of that, my left is KMCS. I'm getting ready to take all the AGM, the adaptive ghillie mesh off, because it's not going to be green anytime soon here in Utah.
Gotcha.
Leaves are dying and falling, so I'm going to get the fall crafting pack from James and Silly Gilly and
Nice.
craft on that. And then I have another Novrich Everglade suit that I'm going to throw all that AGM on with some raffia, and that'll be my summer suit.
Okay.
And then to my above me on my shoulder, or just directly above my head, huge Godzilla nerd. I love Godzilla stuff.
Oh, okay.
So it's movies and toys and all these collectibles. I have like a Godzilla quarter jar and come up and grab the money, bring it in. So that's my nerd side of me. Been a Godzilla fan since I've been little and still haven't grown out of it.
Okay.
So it's been fun.
Yeah.
And then up here, so this guy, I'm gonna grab him. My trusty friend here, my MK23.
Nice.
Tokyo Marui. To me, this is the best airsoft gun in the world. Nothing will replace it. Nothing that I've seen so far has come close.
Really?
Just because of the upgrades you can do with it, I can outrange most AEGs. It's quiet.
Yeah.
I can take out a guy from me to 3 feet away, and he doesn't know where it's at.
Yeah.
And it just works. I get more kills with this than I do any of my sniper rifles.
I mean, you're like the American version of Kicking Mustang.
Thank you. I'll take that and run with that.
For
I
real.
love that.
No, for real, man. When you're doing when you're doing your videos, you're doing the voiceover. It's really engaging and it's interesting to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. It's fun. And then above me, you can't see all of them. Maybe if I tilt this just a little bit.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I have all three of its Novrich rifles right now.
Okay.
So the bottom one is the SSG 96. The middle one is an SSG 10A3, and then the very top one is a retired rifle. That's the SSG 24. That was batch 2. And the reason why it's retired is I actually did my youngest son's gender reveal with that sniper.
Oh shit!
I popped balloons, but a different colored paint. I did the gender reveal with that.
Yeah.
And that's going to go to my son when he gets older. So that rifle will never see the field again until he wants to play.
Bro.
So that's a collector's piece, and that's going to be like a fan heirloom. So that's just going to hang out, and I will never get rid of that rifle ever.
That is cool, man.
So that's a special one. And then the SSD 10A3, it's not feeding. I don't know why.
Gotcha.
I've taken it apart. I've looked at it, checked the magazines. It just will not feed. So the SSD 96 is my rifle for now, until I decide what other bolt action I want to get. I own zero AEGs.
Okay. Well, that answers that question, because I was going to do that was going to be one of the rapid fire questions later, but obviously because I was scrolling through your channel and I'm trying to see like all right, has he ever played different types, like used the HPA or that kind of thing? So and I was like, no, it's mostly sniper stuff. And then I just did the on your channel where you click on videos and then you can sort by, and I sorted by oldest, and I go 12 years. Holy shit. So I'm scrolling down. I'm like, dude, how did you?
Been doing it a while.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Okay.
It's fun. They ruined
tons of experience.
They just ruined the immersion for me. That's why I don't use AGs, and they're loud.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to depend on a battery.
Right.
I can strip these rifles behind me in my sleep and know how each of the inner workings work.
Yeah.
And they just work in no matter what temperature. And if they go down, I can swap the guts usually for another one and get it up and running.
Yeah.
And I just like the challenge. I don't want to just hose and spray a bunch of bushes and go, oh, got him. I want that one single thwap hit, and it gives me more satisfaction. And it challenges me.
Yeah, definitely. What weight BB is your favorite now? What do you use?
4.6 Novrich BBs right now.
Okay.
I want to get a little heavier if I can, but 4.6 is where I would like to go. I will not go below 4.0.
Okay.
It's waste my time. I push 3.0s out of my pistols.
Okay.
So I don't do any 2s unless it's like a little pocket launcher shower grenade, but it's like 3.0s and higher.
Yeah.
For me.
Okay.
But yeah, I just want to make sure people know when they're hit.
When no shit, right? So when we started our YouTube channel, of course, if you've listened to the podcast, I know not, I didn't know anything about airsoft.
Yeah.
And so my boys were telling me that we tested when we would do a review on a gun we got out of a mystery box.
Yeah.
They just bought a shit ton of point twos to test them because that's usually the standard that's listed.
Right. Right. Right.
So so then as we start getting a couple of springers or snipers,
Yeah.
so my son was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get some 3.2s, 3.6s, 4.0s." I'm like, "Why?" And
Right.
I didn't know. I actually didn't know when he was telling me that you could get heavier BBs. Paintball, everything's the same. All the ammo is
Right.
the same.
Yeah.
You don't
Hmm.
have those options. So he's like, "No, it shoots farther." I'm like, "How?" Like it's just going to come out
Right.
because
Right.
these things aren't shooting that hard anyway. I felt like,
Right. Right. Right.
we're shooting a sniper like 120 feet. Now this is, bare bones, like bare stock, whatever.
Right. Right.
And I'm standing on the end trying to film whatever, where he's shooting. And it's kind of dropping. And when I see it hit the ground or the target and it's barely doing
Doing
anything.
anything.
So
Right.
I'm
Right.
going, well, bro, it won't even throw these that far. It's gonna, it's gonna be ending up like halfway down here. I won't even see it.
Down here. Right.
Yeah. So I had to learn all that, with the weights and how the hop up and everything. I didn't know hop up and how it worked and
Gotcha.
all this shit. So it was really interesting to see. And then of course, seeing videos like yourself, where you guys are throwing BBs, heavy BBs, like half a football field. I'm like, bro,
Pretty far. Yeah.
um, I don't know if you heard the podcast that I did with ELR.
I
Uh,
did. I listened
uh,
to that. I enjoyed that. That was awesome.
yeah, they
That's
they were,
nuts what they're doing.
bro, for real.
Oh, I
He told
couldn't.
me about them is the girl that's on their team, sniper chick.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, she's telling me on the podcast, oh yeah, we're hopping 5.0s. We're the longest one
Crazy.
we've got is whatever, almost a football field. I'm like, dude, holy shit.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I would love to
So
try those out. That'd be
right.
awesome.
So what is I am curious though, because I haven't really studied this. But I mean,
Yeah.
I understand, I have a good understanding of like mechanical aptitude kind of way of thinking. So now that I know how these internals work a little, with the hop up and all that. So what is
Mhm.
the hold up or the I guess what is stopping the BB from you being able to shoot a heavier BB farther? Is it the bucking is too flimsy? Is it the
It's a
hop up is
it's
too
it's a combination of both those things, and
okay?
there's a bunch of different opinions on it. But it has to do with air volume in the cylinder. It has to do with
Mm,
the bucking and using different materials. So like I can order like 10 different buckings
yeah,
and they're going to all have different consistencies in some cases, regardless of quality control or what have you.
yeah,
There's going to be an issue. Or you'll get like a hop up chamber that comes from the factory and it's shaped just slightly different.
right.
Like to give you an example, like all my bolt actions have been great. I used to have a Norwich SSX 303.
Okay.
The gun was hot garbage. Okay. I
Yeah.
did everything. I couldn't get that thing to feed. And when it did feed, it would go out 50 feet and drop no matter what I did. I went on
Wow.
forums. I went on the help number. It just was a bad
Hmm.
gun. It was a lemon. So never order a batch one from Norwich. Wait till the second batch. I love his stuff. I'm not bad mouthing the guy, but
Right, of
his
course.
batch one guns are terrible. And obviously I'm a
Gotcha.
big Norwich fan because I have all the stuff for a reason. But don't buy a
Right.
batch one gun. It's just not good.
Well, you've
Um,
played with him too? I mean, you've at least you have. I saw a picture of you with him at a field.
yeah, I got to meet him. I actually flew out for my birthday to Chesapeake, Virginia
Yeah,
from Utah,
Valhack.
Ballahack, which by the way, if you haven't played there, I've been a lot of places. That is the best field in the United States by far.
Damn, I need to
I
go
have
there, bro.
dude. I'm trying to go back next year around the same time.
Okay.
They don't know how good they have it, or maybe they do, but those guys in Chesapeake have it made. There is nothing that comes close to like that in Utah. We have our own little cool, forests and fields, and every once in a while we get to play it like an abandoned town, but it's nothing compared to Valhack.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played the game Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yes, it's one of my favorite Ghost Recons.
So imagine that, but in real life, like a real city in the jungle. You're
Yeah,
gonna get that from Valhack. You
dude,
feel like you've walked into that game,
that is
which
cool.
is It's really cool. And the staff and the people there are fantastic. And unfortunately, I didn't get to hunt Chris because he's always either a juggernaut or he's media. So I didn't get to play against him or play with him most of the time. He either was shooting me on a jet ski, which I don't know if you saw that. He was shooting at all of us on a jet ski.
I did see that.
And then when he was a juggernaut with the little mini saw gun.
I didn't see that part. Okay.
If you go back and watch his videos, you'll see me get killed by him. I'm sitting there sniping at his teammates.
Nice.
He comes and just hoses me. And I'm like, oh, crap, I can't shoot him. But it was fun. That was really, really, really cool. And I got Jet Desert Fox. That made my whole trip. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to play.
So you got, so on your patch wall,
yes,
you have got quite a few patches, obviously.
I do.
Any of them, what's the most memorable one you got, or the best one, or?
The one's the most memorable. I'm going to turn real quick here.
Yeah.
I got a lot. I mean, I need another patch wall. It's full now.
Yep.
I got one stacked. I would say that my Mountain State SWAT training competitions are pretty special.
Okay. Explain that.
Some of those. Yeah. So there's 12. There's one, two, there's like 7 of them on here. So I don't know if you guys can kind of see this.
Yeah.
These are mission patches from the SWAT training competition. And what that is every year there's a SWAT team competition that helps support the 1033 Foundation. And what that does is all the money that's raised goes to fallen officers' families that are killed in the line of duty.
Gotcha.
And so we have teams coming from like California, Colorado, multiple teams in Utah. And the first day is live fire exercises where they're doing kill houses and things like that. And then the next day or two is all force on force stuff. And I am part of a group called Bullet Sponges for Hire.
Nice.
I'm sure you're familiar with like the simunition rounds, or you've heard of them.
Well, I've just heard about them. I've never seen them, never experienced, but yeah, a lot of people have talked about them.
They're really cool. They don't feel that great. They're actually airsoft on steroids, but they have a little plastic tip, and on the very end of them, there's a little paint inside of them, and it's actual gunpowder. Yeah. So like, oh, actually I could show you. I'm gonna bring this over real quick. So I've kept some of this stuff. So I don't know if you guys, so this guy
nice.
Here.
Yep, there you go.
That's a sim round. That's a 9mm, and all these other ones are kind of from the others. And we basically get told what the scenarios are. We have a meeting before the event. And either we're hostages or hostage takers or like active shooter. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And we basically run them through, and they're deducted points on speed if they shot a hostage, how quickly they cleared it, and if they were able to calm down like the non combatants, right? And so we just do that, and because we do that, we get those mission patches and we get to hang out with the SWAT guys and be part of the ceremony at the end and see who won and all that stuff.
Right.
And I do it every year. It's like Christmas. I've got some gnarly scars from it, but you know, it's just part of the fun there.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, my friend Zach, who also wants to help support the 1033 Foundation, we do something called Operation Hardline, which is one of these patches right here.
Okay, that looks cool.
It is very cool. It doesn't happen every year, but he tries to find unique places in Utah where we can play. So we found he found a 3-story furniture building that was going to be demolished.
Oh shit! We
did a CQB event, and all the money that was raised for that went to the 1033 Foundation.
Gotcha. And
a little while later, let me grab this one. Just recently this year, we did Ghost Town.
Oh, cool.
Which is an abandoned ghost town in Hiawatha, Utah. And we just did a charity game there. And so it's us as airsofters trying to get back to the people that do it for real,
right? That
don't get to come home all the time.
Yeah.
And so all that money gets donated to the family. So if an officer is killed, they don't have to worry about funeral costs. They don't have to worry about, we're just trying to help essentially.
Dude, that's
and it's really cool. It's something that I'm proud of to be a part of and to help as much as I can. Because I'm a civilian. I have no military background whatsoever.
Yeah.
I want to help as much as I can and learn as much as I can as a civilian.
Right.
And that's kind of how I go about doing that.
Dude, that's cool, man.
It's cool.
Well, all those rounds and stuff. And then of course being an airsoft like you are, did you grow up around guns at all? Did your parents show you how to handle weapons? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I shot my first firearm when I was 7. It was a 22.
Nice.
My dad's always taught me about firearm safety. Been around him the whole time. Took out the curiosity and replaced it with curiosity with respect.
Yep.
How to use it, when to use it, and there was rules put in place, and I just learned it from from little guy all the way on, and never had any issues. So education, I think, is key with that, and my boys are learning now. My 8-year-old son will be going with me to his first airsoft game after Christmas.
Nice.
We're going to do small little games because there's smaller kids, and we're going to give him like a little P90. I'm going to teach him how to reload it and shoot some pop cans, and then we're going to go to like some of the smaller field games.
Yeah.
And if he likes it, great. I have an airsoft buddy once in a while. If not, it's not a big deal. If my kids want to play, I would gladly show them, but they're definitely going to know weapon safety first.
Oh, absolutely.
They start with Nerf guns. They know they're not allowed to touch these.
Yep.
They can ask questions and look at them, but it's, with dad is home or with mom's home, and they know those rules.
Right.
And that's just how it's been. I'd rather have education than the curiosity and have something bad happen.
For sure, dude. That's exactly how I treated my kids and my wife
100%.
and my sisters. Like when, because we didn't, my family growing up, they weren't into guns. My mom didn't want any guns in the house, and the area we lived in was more suburban.
Okay.
So houses fairly close together kind of thing. And most people didn't hunt, weren't around guns. My best friend growing up, his name was Eric as well. His family was from West Virginia, and his dad was a big hunter, a bow hunter. But then when I got my first Daisy 1-pump BB gun,
nice.
He had a Daisy that was a 1-pump as well, but the barrel pumped. I remember when he brought that over, I had never seen that before. It wasn't a lever action. The actual barrel just pushed in, a few inches to pump it. And we thought that was the coolest shit ever, because mine, the Daisy I had, and then of course later, pop, 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 pop. With the Crossman 10 pumps. So,
I remember those. Yep.
Oh, dude. And you're trying to be quiet. Like, I would go squirrel hunting with my pellet gun. And you're trying to pump super, quiet, so it doesn't, just snap in there, because it has that, the metal thing in there that catches, so it doesn't, the pump doesn't, or the handle doesn't fly out. And so you're trying to be real quiet, and then you miss a shot, and you're like, shit. And then you're like, hurry up.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
But yeah, he was my only friend that was raised around guns that I knew of. Like no one else. I never saw a gun except at his house.
Right.
My dad taught me about it, just talking.
Right.
Telling me about it, basically. And then over there is where I learned the respect for it. And I was probably 9 or 10, maybe. Yeah. And but no one ever, that was my only, my dad took me shooting with a work friend of his when I was like 16, and I shot a 308.
Nice.
For, first time I shot a rifle besides my BB gun, before I went in the military. Never fired a handgun. And then
that's wild.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I was.
Do you still shoot now? Do you go to the range with real steel and shoot, or?
I love to. My boys still go. I still go with them. Honestly, well, you've heard the podcast, so I was paralyzed. I have a lot of leftover, like lingering nerve damage from that, and so one of the biggest things is my extremities. So like my legs below my knees. So all the muscles that, obviously your calves, but all the muscles that you use to balance yourself on uneven terrain. Those are, I don't feel them. They're numb, and I can't use them very well. So when I walk on uneven terrain, I feel like, when people are just like, whoa, they can't catch. I'm like that. And then, so I can't safely operate a real steel rifle.
Gotcha. Okay.
We have a Mosin and Gaunt, and we got a couple of them, bolt action. Those I can operate. I can hold it steady enough with my grip to action the bolt because the handle's so big.
Right. You're able to grip it easier. And
yeah. So
okay.
the AR-15s we have, the AKs, AK I can almost do, but that the charging handle doesn't stick out enough for me to get enough on it to, so
Gotcha.
my fingers just kind of pull. I can get about halfway back. And then of course the charging handle on the M4 styles,
Right.
this
Harder.
one finger on each.
Right. Just
I'm
racking
like,
it back.
I'm trying to grab with my teeth, like, dude,
Oh,
how can
geez.
I? There's no other way to get it to go back. Like I've
Right.
tried all kind of shit, like like you've seen those videos with pistols, semi-autos. Guys can
Yeah.
rack it on their leg, on a table, right? You just
Right.
push the top, the slide back, and then yeah. So I'm thinking of all these ways. How can I fucking rack this bolt? So anyway,
Yeah.
so I could pull the trigger as long as it's a light pull,
Right.
or I have to use two fingers to squeeze it.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, I love to go to the range.
Nice.
Shoot a rifle, like long range,
Yeah.
is one of my favorite things to do. I like if it's an action course, combat pistol course, which I've been through
Right.
years ago. Those are fun. But the long range shooting, bro, give me that Mosin Nagant or what I use in the military, M16A2 with iron sights.
Right.
I'll shoot a football field all day. I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
I love to
Nice.
see, like what you're talking about earlier. You get more excitement from, instead of spraying and praying, through the bushes.
Right.
You want that one shot to go
Ping.
where you placed it. And I love that as well. So
excellent. No, that's
yeah,
awesome.
How
are you feeling, by the way, otherwise? I forgot to ask you.
Oh, yeah, man. Honestly, I appreciate when people ask, obviously, but I feel like when I go back and edit these, because you edit your own videos,
For sure.
I'm hearing so much of this being talked about, and I'm like, I didn't plan on that. But when people ask me hey, so when did you play Airsoft or what? I'm like, I didn't. I do the YouTube channel. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I feel like I've kind of said that a lot. And then I find myself, like you said, hey, you go to the range, and I'm like, if I just say no, I don't really go anymore. I used to, but I don't, with no explanation. Then it's like, oh, like, why not? Right. So when I explain on here, I'm going to go back and look at this video or edit it, whatever. And I'll be catching myself going, see, you did it again. You're talking about your limitations, what you can't do. And in fact, I told James that, on Kicking Mustang podcast, I said, man, I got in a really bad habit of not just on the videos or on the podcast, but just in life in general. When I'm at work and somebody sees me, I'm upright, I'm walking on flat surface, so I look like normal. And then I had this lady ask me to help her carry part of a love seat or a love seat, and it was really light. It didn't have anything in it. I literally could not. So I work with a friend of mine, and so I was like, hey, Jeff, can you? So she's looking at. I didn't want to go through the whole thing like telling her, right, because it sounds like to have this thing, whatever. So I tried, and I just drop it. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me get my friend. That kind of thing. Right. But anyway, I'm doing good, man. Like it's
nice.
This helps a lot, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So today I was doing some cutting, all this stuff, and then we were breaking up concrete stuff. So I got all this concrete dust in my eye, and I'm like, dude, my eyes are so puffy. I feel it, and my nose is running and everything. So I apologize, but
don't worry
I keep having to mute my mic and sniff or blow my nose. So
don't worry about it. You're good, man.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm doing good.
Good,
bro. I cannot tell you how grateful I am to be.
I can only imagine
where I'm at now. Yes. So. Yeah.
And
anyway,
look what you're doing, man. I mean, look what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're helping people. Me as a content creator in Airsoft, I appreciate it. You're helping people.
I appreciate
Like
it,
I
man.
found multiple people just listening to your podcast, like, oh, I'm gonna check out their stuff, and
Right.
it's cool. It is what you're doing is you're showing the human side of airsoft
Yeah.
and how great it can be. And all these, I can't tell you how many friends and how many awesome people I've met just because we're playing with toy BB guns in the
Yeah.
backyard.
Right.
And we're a sport where we shoot each other, and it's supposed to simulate war, which it's
Yeah.
I say
The LARPing
simulate,
part.
right?
Yeah.
The LARPing part, right? It's brought a lot of people together, and it actually, my
No
wife knows when I've gone, I'm much happier, more calm and
Yeah.
relaxed after I've gone. She's like, "You're always so calm after you've hunted your friends." I'm like, "I know," and it sounds bad to say, but it's the truth.
Oh
I
yeah. You
go,
gotta
I
have
go
that.
out and I come back, and oh man, my stress is melted away, and
Absolutely.
I'm tired.
Sure.
I don't recover like I used to back in the days when I first started
Oh,
doing this, right? Like I can
right.
play tomorrow. Like I get home, I'm like, I need a couple days, guys.
You're gonna be sore as
Uh,
hell, bro.
I'm gonna be sore. And I just don't recover as fast, but I still, honestly, I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you doing this stuff. We
Oh, thanks,
honestly,
dude. Yeah. I obviously I enjoy it. Or
that's
else I
great.
wouldn't do it. And I've always been that kind. I wanted to be my boys. I have 3 boys, 2 girls.
Okay,
All 3 of my boys played sports,
nice.
all 3 of them played football. And I love that football was my favorite sport growing up. And I wanted to be on the coaching staff. I wanted to help out. But with 5 kids, all teenagers at the same time, and all of them into sports. My 2 girls were in dance. One of my youngest daughter was on a competition traveling team.
Oh wow,
Um,
cool.
bro, she loved it, and she's really good. Natural, she was natural. But the outfits that you have to buy for the event, the
Oh, I
dance
bet there's a
recitals,
ton of money.
like 300-400 bucks. Then none of the dances recitals, the competitions were in other states. So we're in South Carolina, so it'd be in Tennessee. It'd be 4, 5, 6 hour drive,
Right.
hotel room for the whole weekend because they have dance on Saturday and Sunday competitions. So
Mhm.
anyway, and then of course the 3 boys eating like monsters. Okay, my
You need for
grocery
life.
bill. Oh, and my wife is cooking all the time. Oh, dude, my wife's five
Man,
three, and my 2 older boys, who are actually on the channel, the YouTube
oh
channel,
nice.
Colton and Chris, they're both 6'1" and 320 pounds. Okay,
Oh,
linemen in football. So
okay.
you can imagine when they're teenagers what kind of food that takes to
Blew
keep
through it
that
like
going.
nothing.
Oh,
Blew
dude.
through it.
So my passion was really to be a coach. I loved
Right.
that balance of telling people when they mess up because of lack of
Right.
effort, not because of
Right.
lack of ability. They're
But
like
like just like
teenagers or
effort.
kids, but lack of effort, you suck. You can do better.
Hmm.
And then when they do better, not be afraid to give them a pat on the back. Hey, I'm proud of
Right.
you.
Build
You
them
did
up.
great. I really enjoyed that. I didn't have the time to do it. So I've always
Right.
had this in me where I've really wanted to figure out a way to help people, or I guess
Right.
um, promote them, get them on, pat them on the back kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when I started doing these podcasts, it was a gradual thing that I didn't plan. And it's been great, but I appreciate you saying that, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like I said, when I got the message, I was like, "Oh, sweet!" I was excited, and I just appreciate you for doing this.
Thanks, dude.
And it's fun, man. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. All right. So what do you got? I guess you've already told me about your airsoft guns. Um,
Yes.
you've played with Novrich. You played at Ballahack. What is the well, you said Ballahack was probably the best field you played at, right?
Yeah. So far, just the
Yeah.
best overall experience. I played at some pretty crazy places. So,
Yeah.
I
Where's
did every year. I go to the Jets game, the Battle of Los Angeles in California.
Gotcha.
That's kind of how I kind of kick off my airsoft year. I've gone to last like 4 in a row.
Oh shit.
So it's at that abandoned Air Force base where you see a lot of games being played.
Yeah.
I like it. It's just basically a giant game of domination, and it's just basically an abandoned city. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Always enjoy that. The craziest place I think I've ever played was an event hosted by 6mm Airsoft.
Okay.
I won't say the organization was great because it was their first event. Okay. It was an abandoned prison in Tennessee. It
Oh
was a Smoky
shit.
Mountain Penitentiary.
Oh my God.
And where they did good was promoting it, making it a huge thing. Because I saw it like randomly on Facebook, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Hey, babe, like, can I? She's like, hey, we got the money. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. I was pumped, bought my plane ticket, everything, went out there. And organization was okay. Corona was kind of scattered and everything. And actually Alphonse went there, which I've talked to Alphonse a handful of times.
Nice.
Super nice dude. And he went. And the problem is they had the prison with the walls, but they only had 2 entrances, one on each side.
Oh God.
And it just turned into a fatal funnel.
Yeah.
So the team that was in the prison could just hold off. There was no way for you to get in.
I mean, it's a prison.
Impossible.
Like, there's not going to be a lot of escape routes.
They didn't put any walls up or vehicles to break that up. It was just a straight fatal funnel, and you couldn't get to cover.
How many people were there? Would you say?
Oh man, we had 900 players.
Holy shit!
It was huge. If you watch Alphonse's video,
yeah,
he actually used some of my sniper footage to get like the full story of what was going on.
Oh, really?
He's just sitting up there in one of the buildings that's away from the prison. And he's just hosing dudes down. And it was just like the invasion beach at Normandy. Honestly, he's just sitting up top and just gunning, and it's just like I see all my teammates dying. So I'm like, no, I went down underneath some water tunnels and did my own little solo mission there because I just saw all these guys raise their hands.
Oh,
like, nope.
dude!
I just hear that LMG going off. I'm like, that's Alphonse. I'm not listening to it. It's stupid. And it just was crazy. So much pyro was thrown. I think it was crazy. It was like $40,000 worth of pyro was thrown.
Holy shit, dude! That's got to be
just
every
grenades.
5 seconds something going on.
Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
Smoke grenades. Our team, we got into the prison one time. The only reason why, we had 20 dudes with smoke grenades and then 20 other dudes with pyro. And we just said, throw it. And we just lobbied it over the top of the wall. And as soon as that pop went off, we ran, and whoever got through. And I was lucky to get through with the smoke screen that went on.
Oh, shit.
It was nuts. It wasn't really well organized. A lot of people left after day 1, home pissed. They went home. I didn't play day 2. I went and toured Nashville because when am I going to be in Nashville anytime soon? So
right, from Utah,
yeah. So unfortunate there, but it was the craziest surreal experience. Never.
How did you? What did you play as? Did you take your sniper stuff and all? I took the
SSX 303.
Okay.
And it was working at the time. It did well for that one game, and then it just slowly just dive bombed. And then I had my KMCS. It did really well. I actually had some guys drive within like a couple feet of me on the ATV, and they didn't see me. I just laid down.
Ooh.
And I hunkered against the wall, and they passed by me, and I was like, oh man. So I just had to basically trust my suit and trust the ghillie that I did. And it worked out really, really well. But wore half ghillie top, brought that. MK23 is always with me unless it's broken, which so far, knock on wood, has not been the case.
Yeah, dude.
It just works. I just take it apart, clean it, it works.
That's cool.
And it was fun. And then I had my Hero Shark mask, which I trust a lot. This is my Face Pro that I wear all the time.
Okay. How did you end up with that one?
Contacted a guy on Instagram. His name's Hero Shark, and he makes these mesh goggles where he stamp steel and bends them and then paints them, and then ships it over. And he has different options, and it just makes a really good product. And,
no shit, Hero Shark.
I trust him. Yeah, Hero Shark. Check him out.
Okay.
He does a lot of good work. James wears them.
Okay.
Kicking Mustang does a lot of the guys.
What were you doing before? Just goggles?
I was doing goggles or
like
a cheaper version.
Something face covering, like
just a little balaclava, or like the cheaper of the mesh type, which I probably shouldn't trusted, but I did. I was like, I don't care. It doesn't fog. I'm happy with it. Probably not the right mentality, but that's what I did. And it just worked out. But those are my go-to.
I'm glad you said the word right, because the podcast that came out this morning with Mr. OT.
Yeah, I haven't listened. I'm going to.
Okay, we didn't. Well, you'll hear it. The balaclava. I didn't know what the fuck it was called. Okay, we never had those when I was in the military, and so I said to this thing like, he was wearing he wanted to cover his. I was talking about somebody I did a podcast with, Cujo, who's a Speed QB player, and he asked me before, hey, can I cover my face because nobody ever sees my face? I said, sure. So he had one of those pullover, a balaclava is like a wrap. It's almost like a towel, basically. Right. Thin blanket, short, whatever. But He had one of those pullovers,
Mhm.
you know, that's all neoprene or stretchy or spandex, whatever shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, I didn't know how to explain it. And I said, is it, and Mr. T was like, is it a baklava? And I go, I don't even know. Like, he goes, that's such a weird word. It sounds like a disease. I said, it does. So every time when you just said it, I just start
Yeah.
laughing because every time I'm going to hear
Oh,
that
for
now,
sure.
I'm going to think of this.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a weird name. I don't know who came up with that, but
Can we call it a green towel? I don't know.
green towel,
But
face wrap, like something simple. Just simplify it, right? Yeah,
a
no, that's
cloth
funny.
wrap or something,
Cloth wrap.
balaclava. Sounds like a
Oh,
dessert that my friends, you know, parents used to
fancy
make when I was
French
growing
dessert or something.
up. Oh shit. So you go
That's
from
awesome.
kind of like something like that to the mesh thing, like a cheaper mesh mask, and then why did you need a newer one? Well, it was getting dented or
I just, I've seen a but like I'm on Sniper Ops. I watch and listen to that and kind of track the kind of stuff they're talking in that community.
yeah,
Because like my thing is ghillie play. I like
right.
to be stealthy, and when people watch my videos, I kind of want the feel to always be like that all ghillied up mission from Call of Duty.
Yep.
I'm actually a pretty easygoing kind of a jokester guy, but I want you
Gotcha.
to feel like you're on a sniper mission with me. That's the kind of feel I want with my videos.
Right.
Every now and then I will throw in a little bit of humor, but I want it to be like, oh, you're behind enemy lines and you're a sniper. Like I want people
Yeah.
to feel that.
Gotcha.
And so I
It
wear
works. You're doing good at it. Yeah.
thank you. And I went with this because I just wanted to break up my face profile.
Right.
What will give you away is that the head shape in your shoulders
Silhouette.
and your silhouette, your
Right.
face. And so I needed something to break it up. And I was doing the goggles. And if you look at some of my older ghillie suits, they work.
Yeah.
But I never happy. I just wasn't satisfied. I was like, there's got to be a better way. And doing all this research. And then when James came out to KMCS, I was able to actually get one from a dude off the Sniper Ops
Ah.
because they were sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
So he put it as it was a birthday present because there's import tax, right? And
Mm.
this guy shipped me from Sniper Ops.
Yeah.
He had an extra suit and he shipped it to me from the United Kingdom to my home here in Utah.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up with the KMCS. And now with all the craziness with Russia and the war going on,
Right.
you can't get KMCSs right now. So I feel like I
Oh,
have a holy grail suit right now.
for real.
And James has done a great job. It's version 2. That ghillie suit is just perfect.
Yeah,
Because
dude.
in Utah we can go from straight desert to like juniper bushes to
Mm.
green forests and luscious trees and things like that.
Right.
And then we'll just have like this dead brown earth. So we have all those type of environments.
Yep.
And the KMCS works really, really good. And then what I've gotten recently, if I do a half ghillie, is this Kfactor, the new Norwich camo.
Oh, what is this?
This is a Kfactor. It's the new Norwich pattern that they just came out with.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, in the jungle and the desert environments, these pants work really good.
Oh, that's cool.
It's their new camo lineup, so I've been really happy with those. Like at Balahack,
Yeah.
the first video I did, the dude almost stepped on me, and I was just wearing my half ghillie and that, and he just walks right by, and I just pop him a couple times in the back.
So the half
Like
ghillie is your top half is covered and then
Yeah.
your just regular pants.
Just regular BDU pants. Then
Yeah.
I wear a chest rig.
Yeah.
So let me grab that real quick.
Yeah,
I
dude.
got
For
my
sure.
bag and all my stuff right here. So I don't know if you've seen that. This is a quick release for the MK. So it just clicks
Oh,
into
okay.
place.
Yeah.
And you just push down and just comes straight out.
I love that.
So
Yes.
instead of you have that long draw, I can just
Right.
pull it out from that position.
Yep.
Wear that. And then
My son had one of
chest-
those because we got the Novrich Mark 23.
Yeah, and
whatever.
I'm gonna get one of those.
Yeah.
Those are cool, man.
I
like
guess we got
those.
the first kind, or he bought the first run of it or whatever. I mean, it shot great. Thing was quiet as hell.
They're super, super quiet.
Yeah.
This is my chest rig. It's a minimalist chest rig. So
Wow.
I got 2 patches. This is where I usually keep my sniper mags.
Yep.
And then I got my patch here. Seen better days. I got to order more. And then I'll put like speed loader in here. And then I have my pistol pouches. And then I do have M4 mag pouches, but I don't rock AGs. So it's mainly just to rock that. And then this goes over the front on top of my ghillie suit when
Yeah.
I'm my KMCS on. And then I'll wear a camel pack too. So like I said, I have all my stuff right here. So
Yeah, good. Well, you prepped for it, man. You knew that we were gonna want to see all your shit. Okay.
yeah, I like sharing to see other people doing. So
Show
it's
and
my
tell.
camel
Hell yeah.
pack. I
Okay.
added the adaptive ghillie mesh, the AGM on it. So this one came with Molly, and I just zip tied it and tied it on.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not a finished product, but it just breaks up the silhouette, gives you depth.
Yep.
Because if I'm laying on my back, I don't want it to be like a flat, weird shaped surface. I want this to have
Exactly.
depth, and I can shove natural foliage in here. I use a lot of cable ties.
Yeah.
So instead of just kind of tucking in there, I'll actually place it how I kind of want it, and I'll zip tie it and cut the ends off. So I go through a ton of cable ties.
Right.
So I'll zip tie that foliage, and after a couple hours, obviously I have to cut it off and start over. But I'm just trying to get that look. And then from there, I have the KMCS balaclava. There's that word again. I'll wear this and then put the mesh mask over the top, and this will hang and get rid of that shadow that's going to go on my neckline here.
Right.
So when I'm going to aim, there's not a big black dark spot.
Yep.
And that's why I kind of like it when guys wear all black. They look cool, but it's easy pickings out in the forest.
Easy pickings, man. I remember when I first went in the military, you know, it was the late 80s. So they were still teaching guerrilla warfare, you know, jungle warfare and stuff. And I remember the first time they taught, I had never used cami paint.
Nice.
Until I was in the military. And I remember seeing old school movies in the 80s and stuff where when they, you know, guy like Commando with, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or, you know, I don't know if Predator was, I think Predator came out later, but some of these older movies where, and they, like these guys have, and they have the, you know, their face cami painted up, and they always have it backwards. They have green on their nose, black around their eyes, you know, because it looks better on film. And so I didn't know any of this stuff. I thought that's what you did. Well, you're talking about breaking up silhouette and getting rid of the, you know, anything that shows like a profile. So they were telling us, you know, no, black goes on your cheekbones, you know, anything that sticks out, your nose, your cheekbones, your ears. The lighter green goes on the inside of your, you know, anything that causes a dark inset, you know, anything that's inset, your neck should never be black, you know, like we're all trying to do this, like, just, we don't care if it's functional, we're trying to be cool because, you know, our first time, so we're doing these stripes across our face like this, and they're like, no, that's not how it works.
Fix it. Yeah.
It's all about breaking up
your
profile. And they would have us stick sticks in our helmet, you know, with leaves on them. If you're walking on a ridge line, no shit, just the basic stuff. Which obviously now you know a ton about that from what you've been doing the last 12 years and some of the other guys that you've learned from.
Right.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Though. You got all
too. Yeah.
I mean, just besides the airsoft portion of it, like crafting and doing the camouflage thing's fun too. And I love it when I have teammates and I think I put up a short a couple of days ago. My teammate was like leaning on me, and I was like, hey boss, get off me. Like, he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't see you. I love hearing that.
That's awesome.
Like, if you will go back to watch one of my shorts, like I'm in against a tree, I'm doing a little bit of tree cancer, but it's kind of like one of those weird trees where there's bushes around it. So I was like, I'm fine, I'll lean into it. And then one of my teammates, it's at Ballack, he's like leaning on me, and I can't pull the bolt back because it's on my arm. And I'm going, hey, boss. I go, hey. And he goes, oh, sorry. I was like, yeah, you're leaning on me, bud. And he goes, oh, sorry, I didn't see you. And
my God.
And he gets shot. And I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. I was like, okay. That means I'm doing it right.
Right.
But I like hearing that. Like where people are like, oh, man, I didn't see you. And I'm like, good. That's what I want to hear. I don't want you to see me.
No kidding.
I'm trying to play hide and seek with a rifle, essentially, is what I'm trying to do.
So speaking of that, and remember I mentioned ELR earlier, you know how they were talking about doing those not scouts, what the fuck, the hunts or whatever. Oh my God, I can't think of the name, but anyway, they do that. The stalks. Yes.
Yeah.
Duh. It's bro, like 2 to 3 hours of getting up, you know, where they have spotters trying to find you. And you're trying to get that one single shot on the you know, whatever target they have up without being spotted. And you've got an inch along, and you got your ghillie shit on or whatever type of, you know, dude, that sounds, you know, and what you're talking about and what Kicking Mustang does, obviously, is really cool.
It's fun. I like those guys from ELR. I've dealt with them. I've ordered some stuff from them.
Nice.
Good dudes.
Yeah.
Good dudes. But yeah, I love the stealth stuff. I like sneaking up on people and not having people not know where I'm at. And I like them when they get hit and you see that they go kind of like this kind of thing. I mean, I love that. That's the kind of stuff that keeps bringing me back. Or like guys will be like, "Oh, it's clear, move up," and then I'll shoot one guy, and he goes, "Never mind," and you just see him scatter like cockroaches.
Whoa, so listen. All right,
Yeah.
so I was thinking about when I was talking to James. He said when I first started, guys were making, they were making the Wookiee sounds when I'm at the field until later, and then they shut up. But so have you had any of this stuff where either that or the "hey man, you're shooting people in the face" kind of thing, or people saying you're cheating because you're sniping, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah. I've had it all. So I had at the beginning where people would make fun of me and go, "Oh, look at the Bushman." And then after lunch break, they're all going to respawn and they're not laughing anymore.
Yeah.
But I've had that. Face shots, absolutely. People will complain and whine and bitch about it all the time.
Yeah.
And honestly, if that's the target I have, I'm taking that shot every single time.
Right.
And with my MK23, I'm aiming upper because a lot of people won't call it in their plate carrier. I need to let them know that they're being hit.
Yeah.
And if this is my honest opinion, I'll probably take some heat for it, and I'm fine saying it out.
Yeah.
If you can't take a face shot, go play Nerf. Like
or cover your face, bro. Like you're allowed to cover your face.
100%. There's so much technology out there to protect your face. If you want to be a cool operator guy with safety glasses on and no face mask, and you want to yell at me for hitting you in the face, dude, that's on you. Exactly. Like I'm not going to go play ice hockey without any protective gear and be like, "What did you try to score on me?
No
you shot
shit,
the
right?
At me. What did you try to?" It's stupid. It's really dumb. But me as a sniper, I can get blasted from a dude with a 450 FPS M4 from 0 feet with like 30 BBs in my face, and I get up and go, "Good shot, but one's your engagement." But I shoot one BB and you're gonna whine and complain at me and complain about it.
Yeah.
Like, man, the reason why we take headshots is like, I have a video on there. It's called Crybo. It's basically, I shoot this guy like 7 times in the head. He just keeps popping up.
Oh my God.
It's the worst cheating I've ever seen. And then one video, the beginning of the video, I shoot and I hit a kid right in the square in the goggles. And I go, "Really? You're not going to call that?" And I'm racking and he ends up shooting me. And I go, "Really? It's in the face." I go walk off and he's like, "Hey man, if you would have hit me in the face, I would have called it." And it just started this whole big drama thing. And he's on my YouTube channel. You can read the comments.
Oh, jeez.
And he's just like, "I don't like how you edited that. That wasn't me. And I would have called if you would have hit me in the goggles." And it's like, dude, like, really? You're going to do this? So I don't mind those guys because it gives me content.
Yeah.
People can hate on me. They don't have to like me. Even now, I'll show up in some random local games that are just, pickup games. And they're like, "Oh, it's Kfactor. Oh, cool YouTuber." And they'll do that kind of stuff to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, whatever. I'm just here to have fun in Airsoft. And if you got 10 minutes out of your day to watch my videos, great. If not, I don't care what you do.
Yeah, you're still posting.
Still posting.
You're still doing your thing. Yeah, that's funny because when I love how open you are about it and open James is about it. Like he'll say in the video, like, "Oh, this guy was cheating. He shot him a few times, cheating. Oh, I'll use him as clickbait later." And
100%.
yeah, dude, 100%. I'm
100%.
like, I love how just like this is for real. Like these guys,
100%.
If you didn't have those guys, number one, it would, well, it is funny content. It's funny to see these guys that's so obvious when you hit them and they flinch and then they keep peeking out. Like, dude, you fucking flinch, bro.
Oh,
remember that
100%.
game when you were a kid? Like me and the guys, don't you go like this. You try to hit him in the arm, and then if you flinch, then you really hit him.
Yeah, two for flinching.
Like there's no getting out of that, bro. You fucking flinched, okay?
No, that video, like I even had one in Colorado. I went to visit my friend Gretch, who's just got on basic not too long ago. We're playing at FAF in Colorado, which is Flatacre's farm. And I hit a kid in the play care. I could hear it from like 80 feet away. No, 100 feet away. I can hear it go, "Thwap," and he moves and he's looking around. And I go, "All right." Bam! I shot him right in the face, knocked out his tooth, and he's walking away holding his face, and he's yelling at, "Hey!" And I said, "Dude, take the." You can hear me say, "Take the first one. Take the first shot."
I
And
got
then
to see this,
still,
dude. I got to see this video.
it's a short or a video. It's just
Oh yeah,
FAF in Colorado.
right.
I have a full video of it, and I basically was just like, "Hey, dude, take the first one."
I love your
And I
shorts too, man.
posted.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you. I posted that video on my Utah site, right? The Utah Airsoft.
Gotcha.
They're like, "That was a rude move." Some guys were like, he didn't feel it. You know, you shouldn't have done that, and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, really? You see
Flinch,
him
bro.
flinch completely, like he just had a seizure, and then you telling me he didn't feel that?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, you know what? I'm going to be relatively nice the first shot. And if you're not going to take it, I am. I'm going for face. I'm going for exposed skin. If you don't want to be
Yeah.
honorable and take that shot, yes, I will shoot you there.
Well,
And I expect the same for me.
Exactly. But I could see how guys like yourself, like James, where when you do this, like this is the, mostly what you play, sniper, or all that you play. And you played so many games, you have so much experience with it. And there's a high chance that somebody won't call their hit if they
100%.
if they think they could get away with, like, oh yeah, I didn't feel it over here. So you get tired of that. I can imagine you're in, like, you're just like, fuck this, bro. I'm shooting every single person in the face. Like, obviously there's a balance there,
Right.
with med or whatever, but for real, like, why get, because like you said, you shot this kid in the goggles, he didn't call it, and then he ended up shooting you. So that's got to be more frustrating than, I mean, I'd
It
rather
is.
just shoot him in the face, take their little
Yeah.
whiny ass bitching or whatever, as opposed to, them not calling it and then shooting you back and then saying, "Oh, I shot you." Like, dude.
Right.
So
It baffles my mind. And even with like the speed CQB guys, how many times have you seen a guy come on, "Hey, whistle," and then they like pop him in the back of the head? No one complains about that. But if a sniper does it, it's the end of the world.
I know. Isn't that weird?
And that's the weird thing is, like James and like myself, we're not trying to hurt anybody. But you know what? It's hard for you to ignore that face shot, isn't it? You can't be like, oh, he missed me. It was a branch. Like, you're not going to be able to do that. And especially if you're fully protected, you have no reason to complain.
No.
I've taken a BB square in between the eye pro and in my cheek and popped him out and like, dude, great shot. Nice job.
Yeah.
And then I went back to respawn. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get that guy back. That's how Airsoft used to be.
Right.
And fortunately, most of Utah Airsoft is that way. We have some pretty good, hard, battle-tested guys and a lot of vets that do play. But every once in a while, you're going to get that Airsoft Karen that's going to be like, oh, he shot me. My life was threatened. And I can't play with this guy. He's too... My snipers are not even above 2.6 joules. They're even below that.
Right.
I think my hottest gun is SSG 24, and it's at 2.6 or something like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's 2.6 or under for me and my guns, and I'm always 100 feet back. And if not, that's where I have the pistol come in. So it's not like I'm doing this at like 10 feet away.
Right.
And like I'm trying to injure people. We're playing a game. You're playing a game where you're supposed to get shot.
Exactly.
And if you're going to complain for being shot and not wearing the right face protection, why are you playing? Take up knitting.
For real.
Take up knitting. Go play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, do something.
Oh, they would probably find a way to complain about that. This needle's too sharp. Who made these?
Oh,
it poked me.
100%. I appreciate it when I play with players that, like, I get them, they go, oh, nice headshot, dude. And then they come back and then they shoot me and I go, oh, you got me. And he goes, I wanted revenge. Those are the type of people I want to play with.
Hell
and those are luckily a lot of the people that we do play with, a lot of people I've run into as of late. It's very few. I know James has a lot more issues over in the UK with the stuff he's dealing with, but I'm just hoping people, I don't know.
I think the marshals over there, the refs, the marshals, whatever they call them over there, they're I think they're giving into that that social media whining and crying stuff, and so
100%.
they're making special rules that never used to be,
100%.
because of that. Whereas I think over here a lot of fields are pretty, well, at least from who I've talked with so far, they don't really change the rules too much for that kind of shit. Like, this is it, So
a lot of the games I play, there's no marshals or refs here in Utah. Like, we play a lot of like open field force play. we have a safety brief and people chrono and things like that, especially for bigger events, but
Right.
there's no refs out there usually. If we
Right.
do have people out there, it's for like a specialized event or there's a photographer.
Yeah.
But it comes down to an honor system
Yep.
with this sport. And that's why I think it's just call or hit. Like,
Yeah.
you're playing a game of airsoft, unlike the guys that are doing it for real, like yourself and other veterans, where you don't get that chance, right? If
Right.
I make a mistake, I go out in the forest and I get hit in the head, I'm going to go, ow, hit.
Yeah.
That was stupid, and I can learn from it.
Yeah.
And the guys that are doing it for real don't get that chance.
Uh-uh.
And so that's the way I view it. It's like, okay, that was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I did this wrong, or I moved at the wrong time. I'm going to learn from it and then go
Yeah.
try to get better instead of throwing a hissy fit that I got hit in the head. Like, bam, I actually personally like getting headshots because it wakes me up.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm in a ghillie suit. I can sneak up and I move too fast. Headshot. Okay.
You're like, oh shit. Okay.
I messed up. I high-res myself, or I did tree cancer or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I need to fix my game and then go back out and learn from it.
Yeah.
And so that's how I view it. And I wish more players, especially the ones that like to complain about those kind of things, would take it in. Like, okay, that was dumb, learn and be better. Like, if
Yeah.
you're going to peek the same corner and do this kind of thing, of course I'm going to shoot you in the face.
Yeah. Oh no, they're only doing it like 4 or 5 or 6 times, bro. What do you like? How could you even project that their head's gonna come out again? Like, why do people do that? I don't get it. They're like,
they turkey peek, they turkey peek, they turkey peek, and then I'm like, if they're doing it every 1 second
in the
like
same rhythm. Yeah.
They do every single
It cracks
time.
me up when I watch these videos like that.
And you know, I usually get 1 or 2 of those a game. I'll just have the guy, they'll just same corner. They won't even change elevation. They'll just keep peeking. I'm like,
Oh,
dude,
that's
I'm gonna
crazy.
get you. And then when they get hit, they look at you like, oh, you hit me in the face.
Oh no. How did you see me?
Right? It's just, I laugh about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just one of those things where it makes airsoft so good, and it also is just one of those things that we just got to deal with as a sniper.
Sure, for sure.
And people will be like, "Oh, you're just camping there," and you know, dude, I'm doing my role. Like, what do you want from me? I get 1 BB. You have a whole magazine full of 300. Like,
no shit, right?
Back off.
Yep.
So,
well, that's why they need that many. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's why I love it. Is you get a little bit of the drama there, and if they want me to be the villain, so be it. I'm okay with being that role too.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
dude. So what do you got coming up that you're excited about? Do you have any big events before the end of the year, before winter?
Not as of right now. I just started my season, so I'm playing games on Sunday now for hockey.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll probably go out to our local field called 12th Street on Sundays because I work Tuesday through Saturday. So I'm pretty busy during the week.
Right.
But so it'll be mostly casual pickup games. I did play last Sunday, had a good time. So I'll have a short video that I'm working on now. But as far as big events, it probably won't be any big events until the Desert Fox game in Battle Los Angeles, in California.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at getting a new rifle and some new equipment, just replacing some things.
Oh shit.
And then hopefully going out there and having a good time. But I shall have some pickup games from like 12th Street or Hobble Creek, which is some local fields out here that we can play at.
Hell yeah. Well, if what is your advice to somebody that's fairly new to airsoft, and they're really attracted to the sniping part, like watching your videos, you know, all these other guys that do that? What would be your advice to them as far as, or give them a rundown on best gear you could work towards? Obviously, you know, younger teenagers aren't going to have, you know, the money that they're going to have to build up over time, like most everybody else did.
Yeah, 100%.
So give me a list of what they would start out with.
So let me just talking like just sniping, like they play with an AEG for a while and then they want to snipe. Is that kind of the question there?
Yeah.
I definitely would go with like a Norwich SSG 10 or something like that, because it's good out of the box. You don't have to do a lot to it. And then learn how to adjust a scope or adjust a sight, and how to properly do that and adjust for hop up. Because if you're trying to get the reticle in the center and you're adjusting your hop up, you're gonna be chasing that all day long. So learn how to appropriately,
you're changing that variable, right?
Correct. So you learn how to adjust the sight or find someone that knows how to do it. And then get familiar with the rifle. Every sniper rifle may be coming from the same manufacturer, but all 3 of my guns shoot different. All 3 of them are different. Every time I throw the scope on, I have to adjust for that rifle.
Right.
So get to know your rifle, go out to a field, set up some pop cans at different distances and get to know your rifle. clean it, learn how it works. You need to be able to basically learn how to take it apart and troubleshoot on the field if something does happen.
Gotcha.
Which with
What's
bolt actions
yeah.
doesn't really happen as often, but it's a good thing to check for. Like, is the barrel greasy and dirty from the factory? Do I need to clean it? How do I take out the bolt and undo the cylinder and get to the spring and make sure that everything is lined there? How do I adjust the hop up? What kind of hop up do I have in this gun?
Yeah.
What is the maximum amount of weight of BB that will give my gun the best results? I say if you're sniping, start with 4.0s and then kind of work your way and play with that kind of thing. Obviously, if you use the lighter BB, it's going to send your shots all over the place.
Yeah.
I always say, always use the heaviest BB that your rifle can hop. And I'm really not chasing distance too much.
Right.
Honestly, I like to set my rifle up for about, 70 to 80 meters, if not a little bit sooner than that. If I can get that 70 meters in, that's where most of my engagements are going to be anyway, or that 100 foot to 200 foot range. If I can get it shooting straight and pretty good with a nice trajectory, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about hitting the super, super long ball shots. I'm just really focusing on that 150 feet to 200 feet margin. If I get my rifle shooting really good right there, I can get it shooting quiet.
Yeah.
Then I'm really, really happy with that. And to me, if I could get my gun to be as quiet as I possibly can, that's where the ballpark is going to lie in, because that's what makes it effective. Because you only got that one round. And so you only got a couple 50 feet with most AEGs, unless you know what you're really, really doing. So you got to be able to be stealthy and know when to take those shots and how you look in nature, especially when you're in a ghillie suit. So you got to ask yourself these questions. Do I want to be an active sniper like Christoph from Norwich? Or do I want to go like the Kicking Mustang and James route, where we want to be stealthy ghillie sniper? And that's the kind of part where you need to figure out first. And then you got to figure out if you have patience. What you don't see in my video is me laying there under that tree for 15 minutes while I'm waiting for a guy to come up.
Right.
And that's not fun for an audience. So yes, I chop and edit and speed it up.
Yeah.
And you have to be knowing what to do if you miss. When do you reload? When do you shoot? So I try not to shoot if the enemy is looking directly at me. I wait for this kind of thing and then I pull the trigger.
Gotcha.
Because an airsoft BB kind of works like a tracer. It works both ways. You can see the BB coming and then you can see the BB going. So I don't want that player to see me shoot and miss and go, he's right there. But if I pull the trigger when the player does this, he's not going to know where that round came from.
Right.
Because he's not looking at me. So learning to do that. And just like the real thing, I go fire and then exhale.
Yep.
And that little bit of difference, matter of fact, in my opinion, helps.
Absolutely.
Even though we're not working at the same distance of like real military would, right?
Sure, but still,
every little bit helps.
All those basics, man.
Just know your rifle.
Yeah.
Know what kind of role you want to play with your sniper, and then get yourself a good sidearm. I'm telling you, get an MK23, TM, or an SSX23. Get yourself a non-blowback, and if you're gonna do it, I like to do this, and then let me grab it here. This is the 1911 SSP1.
Oh, nice.
So this is a Norwich too.
Okay.
But I basically have this in a cross draw, especially when I play bigger games. So I'll have the MK23 on my drop leg.
Yep.
And this one's going to be across my waist on the other side. So if I get in a pickle where I'm surrounded, I'm going to pull this out and I'm able to engage multiple people and try to get out. Because it happens. I'll get surrounded.
I'm sure. Well, nobody knows you're there.
No one knows I'm there. And I'm like, well, I can't use the MK because if I take out one, I'm just getting surrounded. So when I pull this, it means I'm in trouble and I'm just trying to take out multiple guys so I can get it to a new hide. That's all I'm trying to do with that. So these are just things you can learn as you play. And, obviously, if anyone's watching this that wants to know, I'm happy to share any information I know.
Absolutely.
I love sharing information. I love teaching people too. Like that's what I do at work. I'm a dog trainer. I do that professionally.
What is it?
I'm a dog trainer.
Oh shit. Oh, okay.
So I'm a professional dog trainer. So
so you gotta have patience. You gotta learn how to teach.
Have patience.
Yeah.
And you're not only teaching the dog, but you're teaching the people as well.
Right.
So
yeah, because if they leave and the dog's parent, like the people don't know what they're doing. Okay.
So that's what I do. So I like teaching. I like helping.
Yeah.
And I'm also learning too. Like I learn something new every day.
Sure.
Like, oh man, I didn't think about that. I'm going to try it. And either you like it or you don't. It's
Yeah.
just one of those things. So that's why I like it too, is it keeps me coming back. I learn every day. Something new.
Gotcha. Hell yeah, dude. Awesome, man. Well,
Yeah.
man, I'm really glad we got to meet.
Same. No, I love this. This is great. I could talk about airsoft forever, man. I really could. I got all sorts of crap I can go on and ramble about, but
Yeah, dude.
thank you.
Well, yeah, we'll save that for the second time we talk, because
That'd be awesome.
I would love to have because you're so experienced, so many years of experience with the sniping stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to have you, and now I'd love to have you and James on together,
That'd be
to
awesome.
swap stories, and give advice, go over
Excellent.
what kind of gear and shit like that. So I would love to do something like that, where it's just, or
That'd be
some of
awesome.
the, maybe you, James, maybe one or two of the guys from the ELR,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
to talk all that sniping stuff. That'd be really cool, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I would love to. And anytime you want to jump on, I'm game.
I appreciate it, dude. So where can let everybody know where you can be found on internet?
Oh yeah, thank you. So I have Instagram, I have YouTube, and I do the TikTok thing a little bit. So this is Kfactor 39. If you got 6-10 minutes out of your day, go up there, jump, watch a video, and hit subscribe if you like it. And the Instagram is basically behind the scenes stuff, or letting you know what I'm working on. I'll post stories on like how the edits are going, and
Oh
just
yeah,
pictures and
I
just
did see
general
that.
stuff
Yeah.
in general. So, but yeah, no, if you guys got time,
Awesome.
just jump on there and check it out, and make sure you follow this man here. Avid Airsoft, give him a like and subscribe too.
Oh
And
man.
I appreciate everything that you're doing for the airsoft community, and giving me a boost as well.
Oh man, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, it's been
Absolutely.
great. All right, everybody, go check him out. He's got some of the oldest sniping videos I've ever seen on YouTube, honestly, for real. So I appreciate you, brother. You have a good night.
Thank you. You do the same. Take care.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.